So this quote of the day comes from a quote I heard, and the quote is, "Change comes from discomfort." And when I heard the quote, I think about a week or so ago, it really made me think about it, because I always hear, from my mentor and other older people that that have become successful with things, that you have to learn how to love being uncomfortable, because that's when you grow the most. And it really does make sense, because us as people, we tend to always gravitate towards our comfort zones when we feel overwhelmed, or we feel out of sorts. And when it comes to making progress in life, or whatever we decide to do, we have to learn that we have to go through these uncomfortable stages, whether that be, like, for example, I'm going to use fitness as an example. Like, when you're trying a new exercise, it's not going to be the easiest. You have to learn the form. You have to start off slow. You're not going to pick up on things right away. And I think as far as that goes, sometimes, speaking for me myself, I'm so used to picking up on certain things right away, that when I don't, it gets very frustrating. And because it makes me uncomfortable, I tend to fall back into habits that I feel comfortable with, whether that be, let's use me learning how to walk again after my surgery, for example. It was a struggle for me to walk a certain amount of steps. So when there were times where I would feel uncomfortable with it, I would always try and fall back to say, using my wheelchair for longer distances, while I still should use my wheelchair for longer distances, while learning how to walk again after my surgery that I had. If it wasn't for my therapist, if it wasn't for family members or family friends kind of pushing me to continue to take those steps and walk a little bit more, I don't think I'd be walking as good as I am now. So it's all about putting yourself in those situations that you might not feel comfortable in, but knowing that after it's finished and after you accomplish the goal, you're going to be all the more better for it. So again, like the quote says, change comes from discomfort. Yeah, it might not feel the best in the moment, but as you continue with the reps, continue with just being consistent, it'll out of nowhere just become second nature. And that's one thing that in life and in business and in general, that I think people would be better for, is if they kind of try to face their fears and face their discomforts more often, because you never know what can come out of that. So that's what I think about this quote. If you guys have any comments on what you think about it, put them down below, and I'll be back for the next one.